What is up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C, and welcome to the Tasha C Show. Shout out to my YouTube and YouTube fam, and podcast fam, hugs and love, and all the above. If you're not a part of my podcast fam, you like what you hear, you go ahead and click, follow wherever the follow button is, or if you're listening through YouTube, you can go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. But don't forget to put Tasha C TV. Of course, I already said my podcast name is just Tasha C Show. Just put that in the podcast, and it should be like a little cartoon, like comic, version of my picture. It will say that filter, use for it. So, anyway, y'all, it is 4:43 in the morning, a.m. It is Thursday, September 24th. Beginning of Libra season, which is one of my favorite times because I am a Libra. But I'm an October Libra, okay? But anyway, I know that's random. I'm still up. I'm up here dog sitting again, my furry nephew. Originally, the other day when the Emmys had came on, I was going to but it was going to be long where I talk about listening to have a little commentary, because it was so many wins for black people like Zendaya. Congrats to her for being the youngest person to win. I think it's supporting actress award for the Emmys or so forth. And Kerry Washington won one. Eddie Murphy, I think, won a couple. Yaya, I can never say his last name, but if you remember, watch such episodes of Watchmen's Black Mirror. Whenever they come back with a new Candyman, just a few movies I can name on top of my head or programs that he's been in. But I said, forget it. I had lost track when I was doing the listings, and I was just like, I'll come back to it later. Now this, I might be my first time depending on it because of the subject matter. Y'all, if y'all are listening to YouTube, it might not. It may, it may be the full podcast, but because of what I'm about to talk about, it may be a certain amount that is on YouTube, depending on how I'm able to upload it. And then the only way you can listen to the whole full podcast of me venting how I feel about what the hell is going on. And, how I feel about talking about, the injustice or non-justice and the mess of Breonna Taylor. So I may, like I said, y'all, YouTube, if y'all want to listen to the podcast, because the full amount, like I said, look at Anchor and other places below where you can find my podcast in order to hear the complete thing. Now, like I said, if it's cut off, y'all, on YouTube, then y'all gonna have to listen to the link, like I said, from Anchor or Spotify or Apple or Stitcher, or just have to look. Okay, sorry y'all, but I use this phone. This is Anchor, so I don't know if you can hear the clicks. If you hear beeps, that's notification on my line. Okay, but anyway. Of course, there is so much going on in the world. We got the Rona, we're still with injustice, mentioning about the Rona. It's 200,000 people who are no longer here. They're taking yonder, if you know what I mean, in the U.S. alone. But hearing the news of yesterday, which is not surprising, that there was no justice for Breonna Taylor. And a lot of questions can come up. It come up again, about black being one of the most disrespected people, maybe in this country, maybe throughout over the world. And the fact is the value of the life. Now I think it was last week, a week before last. Okay, y'all, I don't precisely remember. Now, there was 3 officers, you might say whether it was intentionally or not, but remember that killed. They're responsible for the fact that Breonna Taylor is no longer here. And yet, only one was indicted in the first place. And we have that person, General Coon. Yeah, I'm going to say with this Coon. Okay, wait a minute. I'm not trying to cut before the 10 minutes begins. But, before the 10 minutes are passed by. But it just goes to show that they have no audacity where they settle with the family. Now, in the civil suit, they won $12 million, the family Breonna Taylor has. And we all know the controversy. I think they were trying to have the boyfriend turn on or get a ex-boyfriend. It was like some of this information, excuse me, y'all, the clock is in the background. Some of the information is I got to the point with more of the information that I didn't want to read it because it was so much negative anger just to keep my blood pressure, just not to get stressed out. I honestly, y'all, didn't read some of the information. I read bits and pieces that when you go straight on a timeline of Instagram, for example, and probably y'all, if y'all you use Facebook, have seen, or, maybe on the media, if y'all, watch news, whatever, or watch certain programs on the TV, or even on YouTube, including, you can find information, or even certain other podcasts, radio stations and stuff. It's just a pure mess. It is just disturbing how basically this is like a slap on the wrist. But at the same time, to keep like, okay, we'll throw some money at the family so they'll be shut the hell up. Okay, so the family was able to get $12 million as far as civil lawsuit. But it's priceless because, once your life is here, you're no longer here. That is it. But what is so disturbing is, but turn around, but like I said, it's sad, but to a certain degree, I'm not surprised of the verdict or lack of, because you might as well say none of the mofos, these officers, these people, trash bag of 3 offers, these a-holes, go to bed at night. They probably don't even give it to them. They able to go back to their families or whatever the case is with no problem. Okay, and y'all, and I'm going to ask a question. I don't even recall, like I said, like because of the subject of, unfortunately, this is reoccurring. This shouldn't be still ongoing, where we continue to go down the same spiral. This is a 360 thing that we keep doing. And this is why I have to say Black Lives Never, say her name or say his name. This is ongoing, okay? And some people may try to slide off and say, well, what about the black on black crime? Okay, there was also white too. Okay, that is also an issue of people who kill children race. But we're talking about how these people who go into the field, some of these people who take and abuse their power in the position that they are in. And again, this is what it is. And especially that gives the wrong message for people. Whereas, if they want to do that, they know they're going to be protected where it gets under the rug, especially if the person, if you know what I mean, has a permanent tan, is melanated, and is black. Okay? And, so the thing is, I wanted to talk about, just read a little quickly about now there are riots. I heard there are riots in, I think in Oregon as well. Or is it Portland, Oregon again? And, of course, in Louisville, Kentucky, where the crime has taken place. And it's just, like I said, it's just been sad just to hear the information. But it's not also surprised about the rise, but it's not also surprised about the verdict or lack of it, because there's no justice there. And for people who are trying to justify as if, oh, well, she is almost like, in a way, they're trying to make Breonna be accountable, or even more for to make them accountable for, okay, well, she used to mess with this ex-boyfriend, it was and stuff. It's just like, no, it's people getting away with murder and taking a person's life just because. Okay? But yet there's some people who can, if you want, depending on the skin they are, especially, that could sit there and, take, they can go to Whopper, Burger King, their choice of Corner Island and stuff, and they can kill and shoot, or put or at least seriously injure people, multiple peoples, whether in schools, churches, and so forth. And in some cases, not to say it on some purpose, but still they're treated in a way, go in people's homes while they're up there eating ice cream and stuff like that, and then they get their hair brushed and every darn thing and barely get 10 years and stuff like that, and people just, it's so much. So, Okay, I'm waiting until the 10-minute mark. Okay, here goes with this. Here we go. This bullshit real quick. Now I'm looking at this son of a bitch, who is the Kentucky attorney, who I know it's like the real life version of Get Out, but he don't want to get out. Attorney Daniel Callis, I'm purposely mispronouncing this name. Cactus, Kerner, just whatever. Okay. The charging decision underscores complexity of the tragedy that unfolded in Taylor's apartment. Kentucky General Dickhead Cameron said at a news conference that there was no conclusive evidence that Harrison's shots hit Taylor. Hamstring, whatever. Two other officers who shot into Taylor's apartment and who remain on the force were not charged, even though authorities think one of them fired the bullet that killed the 26-year-old emergency room technician. This is some fucking bullshit. Okay. Cameron said the other two officers acted in self-defense after Taylor's boyfriend, who said he feared an intruder, fired a shot. That's right. Wonton behavior, which sounds like a damn wonton soup, according to Kentucky law. Because I never heard of this term before. Okay, I don't have my degree in law, but I'm like, even hearing that, I'm like, okay, it has nothing to do with police saying anything that connected with charging with murder. Continue. Wanton behavior, according to Kentucky law, occurs when someone is aware of and consciously disregards a sustainable and justifiable risk. A risk so serious that disregarding it constitutes a gross deviation from the standard of conduct that a reasonable person would observe in this situation. To bring a second-degree manslaughter charge, the grand jury would need... Oh my gosh, no, okay, 2 weeks in the house explosion, Commerce Township. Oh, Lord. To bring a second-degree murder charge, the grand jury would need to find sufficient evidence to accuse Harrison. Evidence to accuse Heckin Haggers of wonton soup, because that's what remind me of causing a person's death. Cameron Coon said that the FBI analysis indicates that another officer, Detective Miles, caused for a Friday fatal shot at Taylor. The charge against Henderson echoed the U.S. Police Department findings announced in June with Henderson's firing that the officer showed extreme indifference in the value of human life the night of Taylor's killing. Wanton soup endangerment falls somewhere in between, in quotations, crimes of negligence and crimes such as murder, as one Kentucky-based defense lawyer website puts it. Louisville police forced their way into Taylor's apartment in the early hours of night, March 13th, to execute a no-knock search, warrant for narcotics investigating targeting Taylor's ex-boyfriend. Taylor was home with a current boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who said he fired once toward the police in fear. The police fired back, hitting Taylor multiple times. Some details are not already in dispute. The police contend that they identified themselves before entering with a battle ram. Okay, where is... I haven't heard any body cam in these cases. Is it? Are they there? Walker says he never heard that. I'll leave him on that one. Authorities said that Walker hit an officer in the leg, while the lawsuit from Walker says it was probably not his bullet. Harrison fired 10 times, Cameron Coon said, including from the outside sliding glass door and through a bedroom window, and bullets traveling to a neighborhood apartment where 3 residents were home: a man, a pregnant woman, and a child. Henderson was indicted over concerns that he placed those 3 people in substantial danger, Cameron said. Now, I'm not going to keep doing it because the more it just keeps getting more zoom. It's from the Washington Post. It says, what is wonton endangerment to charge in the Breonna case? Okay, let me calm down. Like I said before, where is the justice? When are black lives, all of them, okay, are going to start to matter? I mean, we already have, like I said, the Rona and dealing with all the issues that come with that, whatever, problems with the UP, just everything else with the economy as well. And, you got people who sit there and just because they're looking at it from a power authority issue, that if they're told if they wear a mask, they're willing to sometimes vandalize people's properties or be even more bring some bitch assness and sit there and attack people, a person or people, whatever, jump just because they've been told to be masked, go around Target, whatever, going around like we got freedom and we don't want to wear a mask to say this other stuff that's taking away our freedom. And so much you can say our ancestors and freedom was taken away, okay? For 400 years. And to a certain extent, if you look at if now, to a certain extent, we still, have those type of problems. And like I said, we already had to deal with the role in certain issues and the problems with that. I shouldn't have to be feared to be going outside because I'm a black woman, as is dealing with sometimes I've noticed, like I said, like paying attention to certain posts or whatever, like it's already enough as is dealing where it's kind of like it could be hatred, self-hatred, or racism. Just like I seen the other day, some bitch, they showed a thing online. A woman was just jogging. Somebody credit. The bitch throws a water bottle. And the woman, could have like, she was just like, she turned around and said, I'm doing this. She had walked away. And then you got this bitch who also is a person of color as well. I don't know if she is Colombian or whatever. Called her the N-word and telling her to go back to Africa. Something like that. Well, bitch, go back where you about to go from. Go back to whatever. It's like this. If you have a problem with people or whatever, go in a cave, in a bunker, some damn where away from society if you feel that type of way. Like I said, I could go continuous on and on about what I have to say about that, but like I said, it's just sad and disturbing that this is occurring. And it shouldn't be where I or a lot of us, as far as like black people or people just in general, we shouldn't have to look at the police officer and wonder like, oh hell, I'm trying to get away from him because I don't know if I'm gonna make it. We shouldn't have to fear our lives or our safety, our health, with mental, physical, psychological, same thing as mental. But what I meant to say is, like I said, y'all, it's 4:20 in the morning. It's just so much going on. Like, remember, y'all, it happened a couple years ago. Some bitch, she happened to be Caucasian, and she leaned over and she looked like, if you went by her appearance, either she aged early, might have some mental issues, might have some self-medication, I don't know. But the bitch is leaning on the cover and they showed a picture, and there's a black woman with her son. The child, I think, was like 10 or 11 years old, but less, like not in the pre-T stage, borderline almost there. And then he actually bumped her, and this bitch is going outside, and this woman had 2 kids, and she up there like, what talking about? She's all trying to confront him and say like she's gonna call the police and talking about he sexually assaulted her, and he just accidentally bumped her with his book bag. And the minute the poor babies heard police, they began to cry hysterically. The kids we shouldn't have to be scared of people who are supposed to put allegedly and be put in positions in order to protect. But like I said, there are some people who abuse power. And eventually there was a lot of people who stood up, she said, oh, this dumb bitch with the glasses on the same one, I apologize. And the boy's like, I don't think I'll never be able to forgive her. And that knows how much traumatization that boy and the mom, whatever. And the mom could have been like one of those people like, okay, since you want to accuse somebody, I'll make sure to follow up and, give her a 2-piece with an extra biscuit. Okay, she could have did that to the bitch. Okay, she just so-called apologized, whatever. I'm just sad, and whatever, because everybody was on her head. It was like the store following her, whatever. And due to the fact that was false, because remember, Emmett Till was allegedly, because he whipped her, was because of these sick, evil assholes, was tortured and killed. Okay. Even if he would have whistled, like, what the heck? I mean, he was a child. And even if he was an adult, when he saved the whistle, the fact he went and what happened to that poor child was disgusting and disturbing and sick, foul. And his killers were acquitted. And the bitch, because I think she's still alive, whatever. No, she needs to have her last days in jail, whatever, because she admits she even lied about the so-called accusation in the first place. So, now it's like, what do we do from here? Of course, it's at the same time, like, staying positive. This is, with all this is going on. And it's like, where would we go from here? Because enough is enough. It is really sad that we continue to have to do like this, or Dylan. And what happened to the other young lady who was with her nephew who got shot? And her nephew had to witness his auntie losing her life. There's so many questions and there's so many answers. And some people are like, F it. We're tired of doing peacefully and violently and just, I don't know. It's just so draining. It is so sad. And I'm sorry, Breonna Taylor, the family of Breonna Taylor, that this is just injustice. This is disturbing. This is a mess. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. This is kind of serious, but that's what I really just felt like, just talking about a couple words. But this might be cheesy, but I just hope and I pray and I put it in the air that things will get better. And I know that's like such could be far our reach. And like, with like, you better look around, you see what is going on, blah blah blah. But it is just completely messed up. And it's completely messed up. Like, okay, so these men are going to be able to go scot-free. And if y'all remember the case, like, for example, with Rodney King, the controversy is, they let, even though it was on tape, somebody was able to secretly record them beating him like he was a punching bag, basically. And they were acquitted, all the officers. And then that's when the riots had started in, I forgot what part of California where they were having the riots, and people got enough. So, what is the next step? Of course, also vote. And, I'm not going to sit here and be like, who to tell you to vote for, but just we'll let that be. But it's just like this. It is like I said, this should not be normal. This should not be where we should be conditioned to continue as if we should act like, okay, this is the verdict and we just stick with it. It has to be, and I'm praying for solutions to this problem, because this has been occurring on for years and years and years and years. And like I said, it's just with justice, and I'm just tired of this happening. I'm sick as hell tired of this happening. I'm sick that, like I said, like, even being positioned, whereas, is enough is enough. And I'll go, one of the most famous quotes, the Malcolm X has said about, the black woman being disrespected, want to be like more disrespected woman in America. I hope I might be paraphrasing. I don't know exactly this quote is a black woman. I know I've seen that earlier, but it's just, before I leave, I'll finish it off with that. So, it's just, I mean, like I said, it might have been no justice for Breonna Taylor, but the real reality is that it's just moving forward from this. And that coon that decided to act like and pretend as if he did nothing, like he, was basically trying to brush it off on the road. Like, in the end of the day, regardless of the type of people who believe that if you kiss some people's ass and like in those positions that or don't want to acknowledge their blackness, for example, in this case, and others, in the end of the day, you can do as much boot licking or whatever ass kissing you want to be, but at the end of the day, they're still going to look at you as the N-word, E-R, with a hard E-R, and treat you that way. So, other than that, y'all, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sleepy now, so I'm about to go to bed. So I might upload this later on today, or maybe tomorrow, who knows. But anyways, y'all, hopefully, Lord willing, 9 times out of 10, it will be a more upbeat, podcast, the next one. But I just felt like it was important to just say what I wanted to say. But because of some of the stuff that I'm talking about, like I said, if I'm able to, it may be split and into where you can't hear all of it on YouTube because of some of the words that I'm using in the podcast. So anyways, y'all, hugs and loves, positive vibes, and we'll see you next. And again, just to say her name, Breonna Taylor, all Black Lives Matter. I'm saying Black Lives Matter. Really, peace. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. The rest of the souls who have been victims just because they've been black, or have been assaulted, or have even been murdered. So on that note, I'm leaving. I will see you in the next podcast. And take care, y'all, and stay safe. Take care.